Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Svea Rike 2 with me, Acciyn. In the previous episode, we bought ourselves a new province. It's up here. We won't get it until next turn, however. But we have bought it. We have also made a smithy, which is going to provide us with iron, which is needed for both buildings and units. And upgrades and stuff, which we're going to need in the future. There's really not much left to do. We are completely out of resources. I can't even hire troops at the moment, and even if I had the money to do so, I would need an exercise tent to purchase regiments. So, with that said, it's time to end the first turn, finally, in the second video of the Let's Play. Awesome, right? I know. And here's where the stuff starts happening. This is just a tutorial. I'm not going to translate it for you, so durr. And here we can see the provinces we own are in a darker shade of blue, as I'm sure you've noticed. We have our starting position over here and our 1000 infantry that we start with. On this screen, in between turns, we can hire new people. You can see that our resources for the turn have already been awarded to us. And should we need to, we are able to spend them on this screen as a last resort reinforcement type thing, if we were able to hire troops, which we are not able to do yet. Great job there, Acciyn. You may also notice that the Danish have us at quite the military advantage, or disadvantage, whatever. They have more military than Sweden has combined at this point. I am going to move my guys up here. I want them up here in Lapland, because this place is kind of protected by just about everyone, which is why I don't feel the need to protect it myself. You can see here that we are at peace with all of the rival stuff. Oh yeah, and I should have fixed the audio, so you should have heard the music and it should have stopped by now, and that's the game, just stopping it. But that's what we can do here. We can move our troops around, and if it was war, we could either assign them to defend a province by just leaving them there, or we could march them into enemy territory to do an offensive. That's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, this is what it looks like right now. We're at peace with everyone. We've moved our troops to a province we don't control for this turn, so that we can move them to a province that we do control next turn. And with that said, I'm going to click the ready button, because I've done all I should, and here we can see what happened. Every turn is 5 years in the game. Sorry, I'm going to have a bit of coffee now. And this screen shows us the historical events that have occurred during this 5-year period. This one tells us that there are 3 brothers of Acciyn who are all very prominent during the late 1400s. Erik, Ivar, and Åke. Erik is the regent. He becomes regent in 1457, along with Jöns Bengtsson Oxenstierna. In 1467, Karl Knutsson Bonde supports Karl Knutsson Bonde to become king for the 3rd time. But when Karl Knutsson dies, Erik seems to be in support of his younger relative Sten Sture to become regent in Sweden. And this is actually the Erik Acciyn that they are talking about here is one of the famous people that we can hire to have in our cabinet, basically. And if we were to hire him, while we have him in our cabinet, he would provide our infantry with a +1 defensive bonus. That's not really that great, I'm not going to be hiring him. But there's your background story on that person. And here's another person. Albert Målare, or Målare, actually Swedish word for painter. So Albert Målare and his disciples produced some of the utmost works of art in Sweden, from Sweden's late Middle Ages. He does chalk paintings in a 20 or so churches in Uppland and Västmanland, where one of the paintings named Herkeberga, or I guess the church is named Herkeberga, is a very famous example for us Swedish people. You might have to look it up. Albert also has some sort of pearl workshop in Stockholm. Sorry about that. Where he makes beautiful tapestries, I guess, and some of those have been preserved up to this date. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot, I did look up what a drotts is. Drotts. And it is the getting off topic from this thing, but a drotts in Sweden is the second highest nobility noble position you could hold during this period in time. Basically, when the king is unable to perform his duties, the drotts steps in to perform the king's duties in his place until the king is better. So there's your explanation for that, and I deserve a bit of coffee for it. But yeah, this Albert here, or Albertus, as he's also called, is also a person that we can have in our cabinet. And he's kind of a special person. If we keep him in our cabinet until the day that he dies, which is in 1509, not too many turns away from where we are, we would be awarded with 5 AP, which is renown points, and 100 silver. Not really that big of a deal. And we have our first choice. And yeah, I apologize, but this is something you're gonna have to go through if you're going to watch this, because I am going to translate everything and it might take me some time from time to time. This basically states that god damn it, like racism, I guess, just yeah, sort of like that. It's not only a part of the 19th century, but already in the Middle Ages there were great differences. It existed already in the Middle Ages, and in the beginning of the 1400s, which is Hansan's great time in Sweden. Sorry, another thing I'm going to have to look up for the next video. There is actually a law that half of all the men in power in Swedish cities are supposed to be German. Sweden has a bit of a German descendants. Now in 1479, it's only Stockholm and Kalmar who still have a large amount of a German population. And immediately after the battle on Brunkeberg Hill, Stockholm requests Swedish membership so that they can renounce that old law. It is granted, and the German mayors and the councilmen are deposed. Yes. And let's see, all the German, what I just said, who have been sitting since Hansa-tiden. Oh, I guess that's Hansan's story. Yeah, okay, so that's when we were mostly German, I guess. I told you in the previous video I'm not that good at the subject matter, so yeah. But I'll piece it together. I'll get it sooner or later. Oh yeah, and they are replaced with Swedish people, and it asks us which position we would like. Now we can go for a mayor, a skråmästare, or a mining person. Skråmästare, I do believe that is a person who has some influence over things like smithies and stuff like that. Could be wrong, but I do believe that is what it is. This is very old Swedish titles, and I'm not all that familiar with them. But you can see here, as the mayor we would get an extra 50 gold. As that thing we would get 25 gold and 25 iron, and as the mining person we would get 50 iron. Now, if there's one thing I've noticed in this game, is that early game you're trying to build up an economy and silver is the most important. You can always get more iron later, so I'm going to go for mayor and get the extra silver. And here's another tutorial thingy. And this is the final screen before we start our next turn. This, you can go to diplomacy here. Oh no, it's a summary. Sorry, derp. This is the summary of the last turn. There has been peace during the 5 years that have passed. The turn that has passed. Personalities. You can see the persons that we had the information displayed on. They show them here as well, and show that they are ready and awaiting employment in our court. Trade, overseas trade, nothing has happened on that front. Development, you can see that we purchased our province, Lapland, and we can also see what our other Swedish nobility have done. They have built some, I guess I'm going to call them cottages, because I've been watching Grimmeth play Civ 4, and I've been playing it myself as well, so he's built a cottage and a smithy, cottage and smithy, cottage and smithy. Do we see a pattern here as to what the AI prefers to start with? Yeah. Okay, so our reputation here, you can see that ours is the only reputation that has increased. And that is due to the fact that we start with a church, which none of the others do. And history, I became mayor and I received 50 silver. There you go. So we're done, and we have our next turn, and now we can actually go to our new province, and we can see that there's not really much to do here. Need a bit of water there in between my coffees. But we have a village which earns us an additional 100 silver per turn, which is exactly why I bought it. It was also very cheap at only 150 silver, so it'll turn a profit fairly quickly. Here we could build either a smithy, which would be the logical choice since we have a mining area here. We could also build a cottage, I'm going to call them that, and we could build an exercise tent since we now have the prerequisite iron supply for it. We could build this, which is an important building. It's sort of a nobleman's house, and it's important for upgrading our villages into towns and later into cities, and also for having people in our court. But I'm going to focus on Uppland here for now. If I click on the buildings, I can upgrade them to various different types of things. I could build a church, but we already have one, so I'm not going to do that. It would actually build it up here as well, since it goes after how much space we have, and you can only have one per village, town, or however high. We could build a archway, which would give us 15 renown. That's pretty spiffy, except for the fact that it costs 500 silvers and 100 iron, and that could be used for so much more. You also earn renown points for winning battles in the game, and some of the choices that you make in between your turns. We could build an embassy. That would require a nobleman's housing before we can build it, as well as 500 silvers and 100 iron, but it does make it easier for us to perform diplomacy. Diplomacy actually costs money every time you do it, which, you know, it kind of makes sense. I mean, you need to send someone out in this time. It's not like you could just phone a country and tell them to fuck off. Or whatever you felt like doing. You actually had to send someone and they needed supplies, and yeah, you get the picture. We could also build a university where I'm actually going to show you that, if I can remember how to, oh yeah, there. If you're going to hire a person, you can find them here. You need to remember what they would give you. I didn't bother because none of them were interesting to me. But if you wanted to hire someone, you would click on their names and you would increase or decrease your offer to them. And it's an offer in silver. And if you build a university, your offers count as double that which you have offered them, making them more likely to join you than any of the other families, because everyone's vying for everyone else. I can't purchase another province at this time. As you can see, the prices have gone up now that I have bought one of them. Each time you buy a province, the price on the other provinces go up. So we can't do that. And we could go to diplomacy here, click on either of the countries. We got Denmark, Russia, the Imperial States, I do believe it's these guys, whatever they are, and Poland. Okay, it's Poland, not Lithuania. Okay, gotcha game. And we could either improve our relations for 100 silver or decrease our relations for 100 silver and try to get into a war with them. I'm not going to do either, because that is a fucking waste of silver. Especially this early in the game. We can also see the renown points of everyone, and I do believe that the game wants you to have as high a renown as possible when we are done. So yeah, we could build another village if I had 100 iron. There are a maximum of 2 villages per province that you can have. So I do plan on building another one in this place here. For now though, I think I'm going to actually save all of my resources and not do anything with them for this turn. And hopefully next turn I'll be able to do something. Maybe not. Maybe I should put down a smithy. That could be a good idea.